All right, guys. Third time is the charm here. You guys know that this live stuff is not my forte. Um, Apologize for cutting it off earlier. I didn't mean to. I was actually in the process of switching my computer from Wi-Fi to a hardwire. Didn't even realize that I had gone live yet. That's why I like to make videos on demand rather than these live streams because I feel like an old dog, man. Technology is like kind of my thing, but I swear, when it comes to doing live streams, man, it is just not a clean process for me. But appreciate you guys showing up. Cheers to you. Football is back. I am excited. I feel like this has been just terrible. It's just been terrible experience, guys. Shout out to you guys all for chugging through and doing what we got to do to make it through this crap because it kind of sucks. But see, I already got a fire Bill O'Brien. Damn it, Armball. How are you going to call me out for a Google Slides already? I always say I don't want to do just a PowerPoint or a slideshow, but yes, it is a Google Slides presentation because I don't know how to do this yet, man. Like, this is just too hard of a process for me so far. I really have to dive into getting the production value of live streams down. I got to get just the instant connection of getting a live stream down, to be honest. But I don't really know how to show something with animation live yet, if that makes sense. I had to. The reason this is so late, it was supposed to be almost 45 minutes ago, is I was going to use the software that I used for my live stream during the draft, but the subscription that I had paid for it had expired. The trial version expired, and I actually had spent all day building that setup to make it look the way I want. I don't even have like any of the cool little, when there's a new like or something, I have a little thing pop up. What's going on, Sal Winder Pata? Did I say that right? But yeah, so this is definitely not my forte, but I appreciate you guys showing in. Armball, thanks for calling me out here. This is a Google Slides presentation. But yeah, man, I didn't have time, man. Like, with these kids, dude, it's crazy. ATL Boys 11, Clyde Edwards-Helaire looked pretty smooth, man. I was impressed, but we're gonna get to all of that in my Google Slides here. We're gonna talk about the Texans and the Chiefs, the breakout players that I left you guys hanging with, the quarterbacks and tight ends. Just did not have time to create videos, search for the footage, type up what I wanted to say for them. We're going to go over my predictions because I didn't get to make a video for that either, and I do that every year, and I just can't not have predictions. Last year, my Super Bowl prediction, I got the actual team that won the Super Bowl correct. Did not get both teams correct, but I got the team that won in the Chiefs correct. So I felt pretty good about that, so I definitely wanted to follow up with something this year and do another prediction. And then I'm going to give away a copy of Madden. Yay, right? We got tons of Madden copies here to give away. So tonight, 34-20 the Chiefs. I feel like that score was actually closer than the game was itself. It's wild that the Texans scored first, but it is what it is, like they came out hot, and I think that we might end up seeing that a lot, especially for away teams this year, is that away teams will come out hot, but the grind of traveling and whatnot will catch up to them even more so than usual because guys just aren't in shape this year, and because traveling, going out into the world right now when you've got to put on masks and do all this other stuff, and it's there's an extra little drain for that. So I think that's going to have a lot of impact on away teams this year. It's just going to be tough, man. So right out of the gate, national anthem was a big deal tonight. One guy ended up kneeling. The whole Texans team stayed in. I don't want to spend too much time on this, but I feel like it is going to be kind of a theme for all of our games this year. And, if you pay attention to social media and stuff like that, and talk about things with people, that it's very fine line. You're either like, for it, or you don't really care, and you think that, there's a social justice issue or whatever in this world, and or in this country at least, and it is what it is. I think it's hilarious that such a big deal is being made out of it, because, and I give props to the players for being the bigger man here and just kind of being like, if we all kneel, we're going to have a huge backlash from a certain demographic of society, and is it even helping us impact the movements and the changes that we're trying to bring attention to now? So I felt like it was kind of mature. I think we're going to see a lot of teams that just don't come out at all, and I'm cool with that. You know what? Let's just get rid of all of it together, because in the end, adding the national anthem to the NFL was reportedly just a gimmick for the military, and once the military started paying the NFL, so the NFL is a business. They've been doing this stuff for financial purposes in the long run anyway. So let's just get rid of it. Let's just move on to it. Everybody wants just playing football. Let's just all focus on just playing football. The fans in the stands I thought was interesting. Certain angles, it looked like there were a lot more people. I don't know how you guys all feel about COVID and whatnot, but Drip Skylark, I appreciate that. Oh, sorry, I've been ignoring the comments here. Armball, I wanted to bring back the podcast. If it ends up being much of anything, it will be just a conversion of the weekly pick'ems broken down into a podcast form. But my buddy that runs NFL Humor and I actually were talking today about a podcast. We'll see. Drip Skylark, Free Madden. Yes, I will be doing that. Andy Reid ditches the face shield after kept fogging up. I don't think that it'll fog up every week. I think that was just a matter of the temperature being so hot outside, yet it was wet and rainy. Once it gets cold, we'll see. I would like the shields. I wish we could all wear shields. I understand they don't have as much of an impact, but yeah. Back to this here. Fans in the stands. It seemed like they were very close. Let me see if I can pull this picture up here. This was a picture of the bathrooms here. Let's see, will it shift over? Maybe not. Yeah, there we go. So this is a picture of the bathrooms with every other urinal closed. Come on, guys. If you have been to a football game and say you're leaving and you're trying to get in and out before missing, like, a play even, you're just trying to get in and out, are you not going to use that? Come on. I would love to find out if these are actually used, but maybe with 20% capacity, it won't be as big of an issue. But anyways, the Chiefs, they just kept on rolling, man. Their offense looks like it's going to be unstoppable. I was a big supporter of the Chiefs drafting a running back. I didn't know which running back they wanted. Edwards-Helaire looks like a really solid fit for their offense. They're going to be tough to stop, man. Something's going to have to go seriously wrong for the Chiefs to not repeat, honestly. B.O.B.'s coaching approach here tonight was kind of sad. It was a little bit conservative. Felt like he punted a few times where, dude, you got one of the most mobile, dynamic quarterbacks in the league. 4th and 5 or less, like, I'm seriously considering going for it every single time. I think they found out today that the wide receiver by committee versus DeAndre Hopkins is not a great fit. Cowboys learned this a couple years ago when they got rid of Dez Bryant. They tried to replace him with a rookie Michael Gallup and a bunch of guys. It doesn't work, man. When you've got a number one wide receiver, they do a lot for your offense. But I do think in the long run, their situation will wind up better than the Cowboys, because they've got guys that are veterans that can get things done better so than a rookie Michael Gallup. And then Andy Reid's face cover fog, that was hilarious. I don't really even know what to say about that. Honestly, it's just like one of the more funnier parts of the game tonight, and I don't know if he'll continue it. I think that might have been an example to maybe have a backup plan for guys going forward. If there's weather, if there's precipitation and whatnot, they might not want to roll with the face shield and might just want to go plain old mask. But I get it because the face masks suck, man. Let's see. KCDEWH21. Will anybody beat the Chiefs this year? Undefeated season looking possible. Somebody will beat them. It's too hard. The away teams are at such a disadvantage this year. David Johnson and Clyde Edwards-Helaire did seem really good, ATL boy. Montana 808. Yeah, man. Texans fans. You guys have some real gripes, man, because Bill O'Brien has been such an up and down coach. Bill O'Belichick, ATL boys, it's pretty funny. I don't think that the Texans are trash, Montana. I think that they are. I don't know. They're just a tough situation. But let's move out here from this game real quick. I'm just gonna go over these real quick because the season's here. We don't really want to talk about projections. We just want real football at this point, right? Breakout quarterbacks. I know that Baker already had one. I limited this list to just 5 guys because there are only but so many quarterbacks in the NFL. You can't do 10 breakout quarterbacks. That's a third of the league. Like, there's no way. So I shortened the breakout quarterbacks list to 5. Baker Mayfield is already kind of had about a breakout. I don't like the rookie breakout thing to go together, but kind of already did that as a rookie. But then really fell off to the point where he's been getting so disrespected for the past calendar year. I think that he bounces back and has a serious, like, here I am, I'm an NFL quarterback type of player here. Josh Allen is another obvious pick. The Bills have a chance to be really good. They have a chance to win the division this year. But hold on to your hats with that. Daniel Jones, another obvious. Like I said, there's very limited amount of options for this list. But this is the order in which I think that they can actually have the opportunity to do so. Daniel Jones, great situation. He's going to be the starter. He's got Saquon Barkley. He's got decent wide receivers that are young that their ceiling is still pretty high. They should only go up. Jason Garrett, for as many flaws as he has always had a quarterback that produces. Moving on to number 2, Drew Lock. Another guy that took a lot of slander this offseason. I'm not sure why, because all he did as a second-round pick in the end of a lost season was come in and play really, really well. I'm worried about Cortland Sutton. Definitely drafted him in a league or two. But, yeah. And the obvious number 1 guy is going to be Kyler Murray. He's got all the pieces. He's got the coaching staff that is going to facilitate high production from him. I look for a little bit better body language. He had a little Jay Cutler body language going on last year. So hopefully some winning will change that body language for him, but we'll see. Moving on to the breakout tight ends here. Titans tight end Jonnu Smith, finally going to be the starting guy. Delaney Walker has been listed as the starting tight end for them for a long time, and yet Jonnu Smith is still being pumped up as a breakout guy, but I think that this year is the actual year that he finally gets it done and comes out, and I don't expect as much from Derrick Henry. And the wide receiver situation with the Titans is kind of up in the air. So I think that he has a chance to do it this year. Blake Jarwin, just sheer volume, opportunity. His run blocking is terrible, so I wouldn't be surprised if he gets kind of pulled for that in favor of man. It's terrible that the name is the name is slipping my mind right now. Guy from Stanford last year, but he could end up taking touches from him this year, or snaps. We got TJ Hawkinson. Now, the reason that the 8th overall pick, I put him at 8 because he was the 8th overall pick, The reason that he is not higher, is just because of the, an ankle injury that he had last year that is reportedly still bothering him. That's kind of an issue for me. So we'll see if TJ Hawkinson is able to bounce back. It might be one of those years where for him it's kind of a wash because he never had proper time to heal or surgery or whatever. Ian Thomas for the Panthers is kind of a riskier name to throw out there. I don't expect the Panthers to be that good. Panthers have really good wide receivers. Their running back is obviously really good. I like Ian Thomas's game. I like his skill set. I think that he could find a home as the starting tight end for a little while. Mike Gesicki, all the talent in the world, athleticism off the charts from the draft. Another team not very good, so we'll see. Hayden Hurst, athleticism, where is it? If Mike Gesicki and Hayden Hurst traded teams, I would put Mike Gesicki probably at the top of this list because Gesicki's got all the talent in the world, but isn't on a great team, isn't on a great offense, not playing with a great quarterback yet. Whereas Hayden Hurst is almost the complete opposite, physically limited. I didn't understand what the Ravens were doing when they drafted him in the first place, so we'll see. I mean, he's in a great place, Hayden Hurst, because he could end up producing just because of by default, because he's on an offense that should be pretty successful this year. Evan Ingram for the Giants. Like I said, Jason Garrett will always hold a special place in my heart as the Cowboys' old coach. He is probably so much better suited for an offensive coordinator position, so that can just intensely focus on just the offense and not have to try and be an all-around guy, because I don't think that he's strong-willed enough for that. But Evan Ingram, he's just got too much talent. Eventually, this has got to click for him. Staying in New York with the Jets, Chris Herndon, also not super athletic. Evan Ingram is sandwiched in between two guys that are not as physically gifted as him, but yet are probably more technically sound. Chris Herndon is just sheer. Who else do the Jets have? Their wide receivers are super limited. They've got a slot wide receiver. What's his name? The rookie that they drafted out of Baylor, already hurt. Can't expect much from a rookie this year. Chris Herndon by default is going to have a big season, I think. Noah Fant, more athleticism off the charts here. I like Drew Lock this year. I know we've got Trevor Kinney here in the comments saying I never got the Drew Lock hype. He's got an arm, but he looks pretty bad on film in those 5 games last year. It's not about. I don't think that Drew Lock will ever be one of these like super technically sound guys. Speaking of Jay Cutler and his former team, he's got a little bit of that, but a better attitude, a better like spunk and ability to rally up teammates to where everybody brings their game up, whereas a guy like Jay Cutler had all that talent, that same cannon of an arm, mobility in the pocket, but man, like, just the energy. And then my number one tight end, God, he's going to do it one day, man. He's going to do it one day. Everything is going to click for O.J. Howard at some point, but I think that Rob Gronkowski is almost this like icing on the cake for the Buccaneers offense right now, right? With Tom Brady coming in. I think that this is the year that O.J. Howard could get involved because Tom Brady is going to be able to get him involved on shorter, intermediate throws. I don't really anticipate Rob Gronkowski playing a ton of snaps because, I mean, the guy was like barely 200 pounds last year on Fox Sports, like doing the pregame shows and stuff. Like, the guy shrunk down to a tiny amount. After a decade plus of training every single year, I really worry about Gronk lasting the entire season if they play him as a starting tight end. So I'm kind of hoping that O.J. Howard still gets his opportunity here, and I think that that's the only reason that they held on to him, because they've got a ton of tight end depth there. All right, so let's move on. Let me look at these comments real quick, respond to you guys, and then we'll go on to these predictions here. So Armball, I would love to get a DM of animations on a slideshow here. That would be sweet. Drip Skylark also agrees with Ian Thomas breaking out this year. Montana thinks that Jason Garrett's trash. All right. DJ Moore and Christian McCaffrey will probably be the number 1 and number 2 options in Carolina. I agree. Drip, you better be ready for the waiver wire with those tight ends because I can't promise you anything with Ian Thomas. Cameron Brate, that's what I couldn't think of his name. Cameron Brate's the other guy. Really high on the Bucks, Montana. Not really high. I think that they're a decent team anyways. I think that Jameis Winston just really put them in a terrible situation with, I made jokes about it on Twitter last year. Like, he literally started the game with a turnover, an interception of some kind every single week. It was insane. And that has an effect on the offense and the defense. There's no way that guys can do their job the way that the game plan's set up for them to do when they're literally behind the 8 ball before the game even really starts. Jamison Crowder, thank you, Armball. I couldn't think of when I said slot receiver for the Jets. That was it. Let's see, Jordan Reed. That's a good point, Daniel. Forgot all about him. Austin Hooper, kind of already a breakout. But on the Browns, he's going to ball out under Stefanski. To me, Austin Hooper is just a slightly better, more proven version of Hayden Hurst. Like, I don't really see. I didn't understand that signing, to be honest. But David Njoku, you see, didn't make my list, whereas O.J. Howard did. I see those guys in somewhat of a similar light, where they're sort of athletic freaks that didn't really have it click for them yet. But we'll see. All right, Mr. Ventura here. Dak versus Rams or Cam versus Dolphins? Definitely Cam versus the Dolphins. Let's go on to these here predictions. In the AFC East, we got the Bills, the Patriots, then the Dolphins actually doing better than the Jets, which might be somewhat of a surprise. Ravens still cleaning up. We got the Steelers. Also, the green means that is the seed they are in, and means that they are in the playoffs, whereas the red means they are not in the playoffs. Not to be Captain Obvious here, but I got the Browns doing better, but still 8-8, missing the playoffs. Bengals. I actually think the Bengals could end up doing a lot better than this. But I don't want to buy too much into Joe Burrow until I see it with my own eyes against NFL competition. Moving on to the NFC South, and AFC South, and the AFC West. Even though it's funny, I probably would go in there and change quite a few picks after that Texans performance last night. But this is kind of how I see the division. I mean, this is going to be a race where these three teams traditionally always beat each other up anyways. But I could see that being the case for sure this year. I've always been a fan of the Texans once they've drafted Deshaun Watson. Really like the guy. The Titans, now adding Jadeveon Clowney, they mean business. Like, Montana says Dak already lit the Rams up every time they played stop, even down to his first preseason start. I agree. I look at the away quarterback tonight, and I'm telling you guys, the away struggles are going to be real this year, more than any other season that they've been. Wow, the Vault Dweller. You think Njoku's being cut? I think they got to trade him. An asterisk next to the 7 on the Pats. That's a good question. Will you? I wonder if that's because there's 7. No, there's an asterisk here too. We'll find out. We're gonna go to I used playoffpredictors.com or whatever for this. We'll go and check that out at the end of this so that we can see. First of all, why those guys are like that, and what that means. In the NFC, in the East and the North, Cowboys seem to be a pretty unanimous pick here. A lot of people want to pick the Eagles. They're already so injury bitten I just don't see it. I see them being very competitive still, and this 7-9 could be easily be 9-7. This how ridiculous does this look? Football team. But yeah, these two teams, they're probably going to be better than these records here, but I'm not ready to. It was so hard to predict wins against teams with their schedules. It's just the way it fell. But I'd give them both probably 2 more wins potentially. NFC North, I think, is going to be somewhat of a dogfight. I think the Packers. We talked about this last year. I think that they really overachieved last year versus what I think that they could do this year. I don't think the Jordan Love dynamic is going to be good for Aaron Rodgers. I question his mental toughness sometimes. I know that's terrible to say. Call me Skip Bayless, but I think that he's already got a foot out the door, and he's just such a complacent kind of guy that I worry about the Packers. I'm real worried about the Packers this year. They could actually be terrible. He could get hurt. I joked about this in my Week 1 pick'ems about him running into a bar, being Anthony Barr, and being out for the season. But I worry about the Packers. The Vikings feel like the default winner of this division just because they're equal parts talented as they are coached. So, moving on to the NFC South and West. You guys said I was high on the Bucs. You thought I was high on the Buccaneers. I don't actually feel like 10-6 was super high on them. But this is another tough division. That's going to be a three-team race, and actually have all 3 of these guys making the playoffs here based on the seeding and the way that it all fell. But these are preseason predictions. Like, obviously the Falcons and Rams could be the same, and the division records could be different, and one of them could make the playoffs. But basically, this is to show how I feel about these teams. 49ers and Seahawks are going to be the class of the West, I think. But I'm not. This is look at this. This is insane that there's not a single losing team in the NFC West. I think this is probably the. I don't wanna make a hot take. Is that the toughest division in the league? Let me go back. Might be. Oh, looks like both West divisions are going to be the toughest in the league this year. So we'll see, though, because, like I said, the away team struggles. The West Coast teams are coming from doing a lot more traveling. Go check out my relocation of the or realignment of the NFL divisions video here. But they are doing the most miles by crossing from east to west coasts and stuff. So it might be kind of tough for them. But let's move on to, let's see. Natalie thinks that the Lions are the worst team in the NFL. Wow, all right. Trevor's got the Eagles at 12-4, even with the injuries. Okay. Sammy, the reason I'm so low on the Bears is their quarterback situation. When you've got 2 quarterbacks, you've got none. I'll never forget it when I saw it with the Jets. They had NFC or AFC Championship squad, brought in Tim Tebow. All faith in Sanchez got lost. I'm not saying that these guys are the equivalent of those 2 quarterbacks, but the moral of that story is that when you've got 2 quarterbacks, you've got none. I just don't know what they're doing. Yeah, Bears are not in a great situation. ATL boys, you want to know what the Falcons number was? They were the 7th seed at 9-7. And then if Drew Brees, I mean everything goes to hell if somebody gets hurt. So so AFC wildcard, I have got the Steelers actually going into Buffalo and winning a game, and that's because of Ben Roethlisberger, the veteran leadership. That was a tough game. That would actually be a really good, hard-nosed winter, hopefully in the snow. God, that would be awesome if it was in the snow. Just hard-nosed defensive game. Ben Roethlisberger's veteran leadership over the Josh Allen, but Josh Allen got really good experience last year in Houston after going up, probably getting a little bit too high and too hype, and allowing the game to get away from them. I've got the Texans over the Titans. Like I said, if this was after tonight, if I was doing these after tonight, things might end up differently because it's pretty disappointed. But the Texans do have their ceiling and their floor are much wider. The deviation between the two is much greater than it is for your average decent team. Patriots in at the 7th seed. I have them losing to the Chiefs. Like I said, the Chiefs are going to be tough. Something's got to go seriously wrong. I'm not sure why that. All right, NFC wild card. I have the Seahawks. Oh, all right. I have the Seahawks over the Vikings on the road. Seahawks are just a better team, I think. Russell Wilson, I just trust him more than I do trust Kirk Cousins, to be honest. The Buccaneers over the Saints. The Drew Brees longevity bothers me. We saw him, get nicked up last year. But at the same time, man, Jameis Winston could come in with Sean Payton working together. But see, I thought the Bruce Arians was going to be Jameis Winston's cure-all, and he wasn't. So if he's not, Sean Payton might be in over his head also with Jameis Winston, so we'll see. But yeah, so I got the Buccaneers winning one here. And then I've got the Falcons pulling the upset over the 49ers because of the game last year where the Falcons, I can't remember. I think that they won that game. But it might have been they lost. No, it was the Cardinals they lost last minute and they almost lost. The Falcons actually went in to San Francisco and beat the 49ers. So that was just kind of a nod to that. Moving on to the divisional round, I've got all the home teams winning here. They just feel like they're better teams, you know. So then in the conference championships, I've got the Chiefs keeping it going. Like I said, the Ravens are going to be good, but for the Chiefs to lose this year, I really think that something serious has to go wrong for them. I don't feel like they lose a game just because they were out-coached, out-executed. I don't feel like there's enough that could go wrong in one single game for the Chiefs to lose this year. So when I say something's got to go wrong, it means, knock on wood, this is fake wood, I think. Knock on wood, Patrick Mahomes gets hurt. Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce are banged up, something like that. Something to bring this Chiefs offense back down to earth. That's the only way I see them losing this year. And then I really hate this, but this is literally the matchup that I predicted last year. And, I don't want to be a homer. I hate being a homer. But the stars are just aligning for the Cowboys this year. And, I think that they've got a really good opportunity to make it to the Super Bowl. But ultimately, like I said, something's got to go wrong. This is literally the exact same pick that I had for last year, and I hate doing that. I hope that you guys know how much I hate maintaining the status quo and not trying to be progressive and searching for that next thing. Like I love finding the next thing, right? Like I love being a progressive thinker and searching for that next Ravens team from last year. The next team that's going to be that's going to go from middle tier to top tier. Like I want to find that team and I want to put them in the Super Bowl just so I can put my stamp on them. I couldn't find it, man. The Chiefs are just too damn good. The Cowboys, I feel like I was a year off. The new coaching change is going to be really good for them. The roster's just even more talented than it was last year. The defensive line, even without Gerald McCoy, even without him, man, it's just so stacked with pass rushers now with Everson Griffin and Randy Gregory back. And the guys that they had making a little bit of a progression forward. And then the offense being those three wide receivers deep, man, the Cowboys are going to be good. The only thing that's going to get in their way is going to be remnants of the old coaching coming through, but we'll see. I think that they are going to be pretty solid there. So Let's see. What did I miss here? Rich thinks that the Chiefs are not coming down to earth. It's a repeat. Man, you know how hard it is to repeat, though, in the NFL? That's the thing. Is it's just so hard to do this. I racked my brain. I could not find another team. Like, looking at here. Let's move on to, here we go. So this was the old playoff bracket. These are the standings. Let's go back to division. Why did they have that? See, now they don't. Oh, yeah, they do. Oh, okay. So that asterisk right there, I don't know. Can you guys see this? Looks like you cannot. Tight. Let's do this. Excuse me while I rearrange my screen here. I thought the full screen would work in all facets. I got this super cool widescreen up here now so that I can do edit videos and see the whole timeline across it. But it doesn't work that well for live streams. Alright, so as we can see here, the asterisks, as you guys were asking earlier, this is strength of victory. That's why they gave them the nod over other 9 and 7 teams. So basically, the way that the strength of schedule or whatever plays out, the Patriots got the nod here. So literally, it's hair thin for the Colts here making the playoffs over the Patriots the way that I have it playing out. Let me zoom out here and see if I can get this cleaner. You guys probably won't be able to see it though. But yeah, I mean, the Steelers, the Titans, the Seahawks, the 49ers maybe even, but they're riddled with injuries. I don't really trust Jimmy Garoppolo. I don't trust Shanahan in the Super Bowl. Like, I just don't see another team coming in here and upsetting the Chiefs. That's really all I can say. Let's see. Trevor, I do agree the Cardinals are a year away from being a legitimate playoff team. I kind of in my week 1 pick'ems threw in my general ideas on each team and stuff as I went through their picks. Yeah. Trevor, you also think that Drew Lock's going to be what holds the Broncos back? I'd be surprised. And Drip, the playing down to the competition thing, that is a Jason Garrett thing, man. Like, it's a conservative thing that I don't think McCarthy is like. He wasn't my favorite hire, but he is like a very confident football guy, like that wants to beat you and wants to do it in fun ways and wants to run the score up at times. Whereas Jason Garrett's a guy where he's like, if we get out of here with a 1-point victory, we get out of here with a 14-point victory, it's the same thing. It's like, no, it's not the same thing. Like, if you have the chance to step on a team's throat in the third quarter, you do it. You don't play to win by 1 point in the fourth quarter because that's how you lose close games. So I think the coaching is going to do wonders for the Cowboys. It was at just the right time. It was actually probably a year late. But this is the limit here now because with the Dak contract and stuff that they're going to have to eventually do. Cowboys are running out of time. This was the time that they had to do it. The Vault Dweller thinks that the 11-5 that I have for the Steelers is their absolute ceiling, and they're probably closer to 9-7. Well, this is what I had for them as far as their regular season record. What are you gonna do? I mean, so in the playoffs I had them recreating this game, which is gonna be on Sunday Night Football. That one's kind of questionable. This would be a big win for them if they could pull that off, but I don't see it happening. I mean, they could probably lose this game. They could probably lose this game. They are one of the. It's all hinges on Ben Roethlisberger, so we'll see how he does. Yeah, I agree, Trevor, that Ben should be. Wait a second. All right, Rich. I'm about to read your comments here. He said, "Hold on, bro. You look like Dak Prescott, but like you eat Hot Pockets." I'm assuming that means that I look like a chubbier version of Dak Prescott, and I want to say that's low-key racist because we're both just mixed. And no, we don't just all look the same because we're half black. But yes, I probably do look like I eat Hot Pockets compared to Dak Prescott because I'm not working out every day. I'm changing diapers all damn day. Armball said if Seattle had Colts O-line, they would win the NFC. Just facts. Dude, I've been mock drafting the offensive lineman to the Seahawks for ages. I don't understand the disrespect that they have for Russell Wilson, who's one of the greatest quarterbacks of this generation, but doesn't get the respect because he's constantly running for his life. I feel like they just assume that because he is mobile that they'd just be able to buy time and they could put a makeshift offensive line in front of him. I was just messing with you, Rich. I don't actually think that you were racist. I was just fucking with you. Dak is a good-looking fellow. I'll give you that. Even after getting his butt whooped at spring break. All right. What else do we have on the docket here? Let's go back to. Oh, that's right. Hold on. What did I have here? What did we want to talk about? Looks like it's just Madden. Just giving away some Madden now at this point. All right, so I wanted to give away. Oh, sorry. Let me answer Rich's question here before he start team point blank. Do I want ketchup, Mahomes, African jerk chicken, Watson, or corn-fed farm boy Aaron Rodgers? Come on now, man. Come on now with that. All right, which do I get them as a rookie? I'm gonna ignore the racist undertones and just go with the quarterbacks themselves. If I get them as a rookie, give me Aaron Rodgers. If I get them right now, give me Mahomes. If I'm projecting, I threw all the racism. If I'm projecting down the road, Mahomes is. Deshaun Watson's got just as high of a ceiling as either of those two guys. But yeah, so I said I was gonna give a Madden code to somebody in the comments. So let's just go ahead and do that now. I was hoping that they would be able to watch the game or watch the stream, but they probably won't. So let's go through these comments here and find the top rated Madden-ish comments. Sorry, I'm messing with the layout here. You guys know I'm a perfectionist. This is literally why it takes me so long to do videos, because I'm like this. I'm like, all right, everything's got to be lined up perfectly. I go and I look at the details on the pixels and where they're at, and like in my mind they actually have to line up. Like I don't eyeball them. I actually go through them and I'll find different elements and be like, all right, this is at 140 pixels here. And I'll make sure I go. It's a mess. Y'all don't want to get up here. All right. Madden. So bad call on my part is I said to use a hashtag, one of the hashtags, And then I forgot YouTube like filters anything with hashtags as spam, and I have to go in and manually approve it. So here you go. The first Madden related comment on here is the guy that won the Xbox code. I'm gonna have you guys help me out here. When I first bought the Xbox One, I was under the impression that online play, the rosters and progression would align more with real life from week to week. Franchise mode, they don't really do this. In older versions of Madden, you could export NCAA football draft eligible rosters to Madden. Maybe not for a ridiculous amount, but for a small price. Allow to export the actual rookie class, the current season to franchise mode during draft season. Mike Riley, the only reason that they can't do that is these guys aren't, the college players aren't part of the NFL Players Association, so they can't actually have a contract. That's a whole nother video. Armball, where you at on here? Oh man, doesn't look. I don't see a heart on there. Armball, I'll give you Madden. What have you got? Do you really not, Armball? You really don't have Madden yet? Tell me what console you've got, Armball, and hit me up in those Twitter DMs right now. I will literally respond to them right now. I got them pulled up. Check this shit out, dude. I took one of my old monitors with actual TVs, old 30-inch, turned it sideways on a mount, and now I've got this sweet like timeline type of like phone style of monitor here. It's pretty cool. All right, one Madden copy to Armball. What do you have? You seem like an Xbox guy. ATL Boys says that EA is a $1 billion company and can't fix franchise. It's because they don't want to, because it doesn't really make them a lot of money, and they just don't care. So, what are you going to do, man? What are you going to do? Drew Martin, just found your channel. Keep up the content. Although as a Raiders fan, I think we're going to take care of it. So I like this guy. He did both. He did a real comment for football, and then he also has a Madden comment in here with the NFL Drop EA on there. So Drew, if you hit me up on Twitter, if you somehow see this, hit me up on Twitter, and I will give you a free copy of Madden. Claudio, appreciate it, man. Let's see. Armball says he DM'd me. Let's refresh. I don't see. Oh, manage requests. He is an Xbox owner. I knew you were an Xbox guy. I'm Armball time. Guys, go follow, or don't. Maybe he doesn't want you. He doesn't have any followers. Guys, go follow WQ Football. At WQ Football. I'm gonna be your first follower. Armball. And let's see. I'm gonna move this so that everybody doesn't see it. Let's go down here. Xbox. Congrats, bro. There you go. There's your Madden code, man. All right. Sammy, I will probably not be doing a stream on Sunday. This was enough of a cluster. So, yeah, Rich, you are on one right now, bro. What have I done? What have I opened up with you there, man? Let's see. Drip, you've been pretty active tonight too. Drip Skylark, if you want to DM me on Twitter with your and let me know what console you have, I will hook you up with a Madden code, man. That's gonna be it. Real quick, let me move to this here. Real quick, let me see your Q&As. If you guys have a question, let me know what it is, and yeah, we'll go into that stuff. But other than that, I think we're pretty good here, right? I mean, yes. Let me get that slideshow video, Armball. I would love to do this. This is a lot of fun for me. Once I get into it, it's fun. Once I get like set up, I really enjoy doing this. Rich, are you asking me who my team is? Host? Or is there a host in the chat? I don't think so. My team is the Cowboys. Yeah, my team is the Cowboys. Lived in Dallas, or Mesquite, Texas, actually, from 1992. I'm 32, so I'm kind of old now. But I lived in there from 92. They won the Super Bowl. To 99. And they won 3 Super Bowls while I was in kindergarten, first and third grade or whatever. It was a wrap from there, man. Like I had to be a Cowboys fan. I remember one of my most fond memories actually is riding around with my dad in Dallas trying to get a newspaper, because that's what we had to do back in the day, because Michael Irvin had just got busted with some sort of cocaine or cocaine paraphernalia or something like that. And we were riding around Dallas trying to find a Dallas Morning News just so we could read about this story that it broke. But yeah. Trevor says, Dallas Homer. It happens, man. It is what it is. Let's see. Richie lived in Dallas for 5 years. That's pretty cool. Tornado on December 27th. I don't know. Derek, that is one of the more sad comments of the night. Derek says, congrats. Hope everyone who gets a code has fun with Madden, or at least tries to. I mean, it's terrible, man. I'm glad that I have the opportunity and the platform to be able to give these codes out. That's awesome. I haven't bought Madden since Madden 17, since Madden 16. Madden 17 I got free. Madden 16 was the last one I bought. And I remember feeling after that year, I was like, I legitimately, I used to say it all the time, I'm not buying Madden next year. It's the same shit every year. But I legit was thinking I was not buying the game that next year. And then that was when they started giving them out for free for all the MUT people. People that played MUT and reached insane levels of Madden. They all got an email. I was in this Madden league, and they were like, oh, check your email. We all got emails about a free copy of Madden. It's because they had put money into the game of MUT, so therefore, EA was like, here, you paid more than $60 worth of share, here's a free copy. So I was like, what the hell, man? And I realized, I had this cool Twitter account, and they followed me. I was like, hey, man, what's a guy got to do to get a free copy of Madden? And then they hooked me up with all these Madden codes. So ever since then, I've been getting the game for free. So I'm so fortunate and blessed to have been able to get the game for free. But at the same time, it's like, man, I see why you guys are giving it for free, because they're just Vault Dweller. You're literally not missing out on anything. Madden 19 was the last one that I enjoyed. But now I just feel like with the what are they called now? I can't remember. It slipped my mind. The abilities, the X Factor abilities, and Superstar abilities and shit. It's just, the game has just gotten so weird. I actually was going to do some of the yard. My original plan was that I was going to fill up this time right here with the yard. But it's just, it doesn't even feel worth it, man. It's just such a weird game. The animations, it's all about just the animations being the sole purpose of the game. It just drives me nuts, man. Rich is still going in on here. Let's see. Armball, yes, man. You're welcome, dude. Go back up. He said, damn, bro, take the caps off. Oh, he's talking to Rich, yeah. Settle down, Rich. Take a drink or something. Drip Skylar says, who do you think is the greatest single season team of all time? That's a great question, actually. And what's sad is I feel like the greatest single season team probably didn't even win the Super Bowl. And probably hasn't won the Super Bowl because there are multiple teams. I mentioned before the, was it 99 Vikings? Randy Moss rookie year Vikings. Them and the undefeated, or the 18-1 Patriots, I think are probably the greatest offenses I've ever seen. Yet they both didn't even win the Super Bowl, which is pretty wild. But the greatest team that actually won, one of those Rams teams, one of those greatest shows on turf, probably the ones that I guess beat the Titans. I don't know. That's a good question, man. I'll have to look into that. Got some guys joking with some 2019s. ATL boys, NFL Street was awesome, and that's why I kind of like the yard, because it actually has a different feel from the 11-on-11 version of Madden, but it's still, man, it's the jump ball stuff, man, where they're just like, you don't know if you throw it up, you don't know if you're a Drip Skylark. Here you are, another Xbox player. Said also appreciate how you've used your platform to further the Black Lives Matter movement. I have not done anything, man. Somebody actually called me a social justice warrior in a comment last week, and I was like, bro, I'm no warrior. I believe in social justice, as every human being should, but I am no warrior, man. I had a weird upbringing, being a mixed person, that it was kind of, I fit in. Everybody's like, oh, you fit in everywhere, but it's like, no, at the same time, you don't fit in anywhere. It's weird dynamic, but I want to make sure I gave you the right code here, Drip. Yes. But yeah, NFL Street is sweet. Anything you can do in return for that code other than the slideshow? Nah, man, Armball, that would be so legit. I don't know how often I'll do these this season. Like I said, I have a weird brain. They take a lot mentally for me to get into this. I almost didn't do this because of the hurdle that I ran into with. This is why I was a terrible employee, with this like Ecamm Live program not working, and having spent all day setting it up, and then having it not work, and then I knew that the only other option I had was to do this OBS thing. I literally was on my community page ready to be like, canceled, rescheduled. I'm gonna do this Saturday night or Sunday morning or something like that, because of the fact that it's so the mental hurdle for me is like just too much sometimes for these. So I don't know how often I'll do these, but I would love to create a like system where this is pretty easy for me to do, like on a whim. I'd love to be able to jump on here and do a live stream if something happened. I'm never going to be one of these guys. I don't know if you guys have seen this new alternate channel, microphone. I don't know, this dude Flight Mike, he does these videos. I'm not going to lie, I've seen them and this summer and been like, damn it, those are what my videos are supposed to look like. Those are the videos I'm supposed to be making as I'm like, feeding a baby or like changing a diaper or something, and I'm like watching these videos like envious, like, God, I just want to get away from all of this and just make NFL videos all day like this dude. But like those are the videos that I want to be making. I just don't have the time for them. So it would be cool if I could get a video system or setup where I could do that on the do a live stream, like, you know, and be like, hey, like, so and so just got signed or traded. Like, this is what I think. What do you guys think? Like, let's see. Rich is still over here talking to himself. ATL Boys is talking about the greatest shoes on turf. Just kidding. Panthers in 15 were pretty good. What city is St. Louis Rams in now? Come on, Rich. Q&A. I'll go the other way then. What's the worst team that you think has ever won the Super Bowl? Oh my goodness. I mean, it's got to be one of those Eli Manning Giants. Probably the year the Cowboys were the 1 seed, and the Giants were the 6th seed. Another funny story about that. My wife and I, we've been together since high school, right? Yeah, very cute and all, right? But we actually broke up, and her family's a big Giants fan. They're all from New York and stuff. They moved down here. I moved from Dallas to Virginia, and we actually broke up for like a 6-month window, and it was like right after Christmas, in between Christmas and New Year's. I know I'm a savage for doing it in that time period, but we broke up between Christmas and New Year's one year. So the playoffs were already set. Cowboys were already good. I was riding that high. I was feeling good. I had my Cowboys. What did I need this little high school girlfriend for, right? So we broke up. 6 months later, we got back together. But in that window, Cowboys lost to the Giants at home. We were the best team. Tio, Romo, Marion Barber. Like, we had a squad, man. And I had to sit there and watch not only the Giants beat our team, that was the best that we had had in quite a while, then watch them go on to beat the undefeated Patriots in the Super Bowl with Eli Manning. That's got to be the worst team, I think. One of the worst teams, just because of the fact that they beat, I think, one of the best teams. I don't know. I really can't even think of any other candidates, to be honest. And that one could just be personal, which is why I think that. But let's see, Natalie says, I only play Madden because it's the only football game. I try to enjoy franchise, but it sucks. Face of the franchise sucks, and personally, I don't like Ultimate Team. Natalie, I'm right there with you. I hate MUT. I've tried. I always play it right in the beginning just to sort of get a feel for the game, and it's something to do, and it gives me like these little like scenarios to beat, but I always get away from it. The last time I probably played it or cared about it was when they first brought the Twitch thing in there, where every Friday you got like this new card, just for being like a Twitch Prime member or whatever. Like, but yeah, franchise is super boring. The 32 team leagues, they're a little bit fun. No, they're really fun. They're really competitive, but at the end of the day, like, do you really want to play a super competitive game where you can just throw it up to your wide receiver on a deep bomb and it's literally based on the rest of the game, like the AI of the game or the coding of the game, whether or not you come down with that catch or whether or not you come down with that interception? Like, the interceptions have really done it for me in Madden. It's just like, it's not even fun to pass anymore. Foley says, was it just me or were there fewer flags and penalties tonight? I don't feel like I noticed, so probably yes. It did still feel like whenever there was a big play or something, or like a touchdown, there was a challenge and whatnot still, but I don't know. Maybe there were less. Usually in these kickoff games, the NFL doesn't officiate every game equally, so there probably were fewer tonight. Rich, you need to get it together, son. Armball asks if I've thought about hiring an editor for my videos. So I'm just such a control freak that I feel like I could hire somebody and I would still have to go in and make corrections. What I have actually hired, and it's funny, I've mentioned this before, those videos where I was making how such and such team wins the Super Bowl this year. I did those last year, and I actually reached out to guys on Fiverr, and I would give them highlight videos from YouTube or whatever that I would pull from certain teams, and I'd be like, hey, can you clip this video and send me all of the clips every time the camera changes? First of all, not to be rude, it was so hard to explain that with the language barrier for a lot of the people on Fiverr that I couldn't find. It took me like the fourth or fifth person that I talked to actually even comprehend what I was trying to explain. Then the first couple guys that I talked to, or that I had do the actual project for me, didn't even do it correctly. So that's probably one of the longest, least rewarding, least energy providing processes of making the video, is finding the footage and then splicing it all up so that I don't just upload, a video straight from the Chiefs official YouTube account. What else? Drip says, how many kids you got? I've got a 4-year-old, and then we had twins. We got blessed with twins. Blessed. That's what everybody keeps telling me. Blessed with twins. So I have 3 kids. The twins are 1.5 now. Rich, he says, you're young, you don't know what a 5-year marriage is. I think we are 5 years. 2013? No, we're 2016. 2013. Oh shit, my wife won't watch this. 2013 we got married, right? Yeah, so no, I'm in there, bro. I'm in there. Yes, Luke, I do have the Cowboys as the number 1 seed. Walt says, Rich is faded. He's got it. I hope that's his excuse. It's been a good time, though. I haven't smoked in a long time. Honestly, I was probably... Oh, that's pretty cool, Rich. Drip, I didn't do any of those videos this year because they just take too much time. Man, I couldn't get a break this summer, dude. Because my wife wouldn't be able to leave with the kids. We took COVID. All right, so there's a spectrum as far as how people took this COVID situation. Thanks, Jackson. There's a spectrum for the COVID. You either took it stupid seriously and went out in a hazmat suit, or you went out licking doorknobs, right? We were definitely closer to the hazmat suit, not quite that insane, but we were. If this is the middle tier, right? We were definitely somewhere on the old hazmat suit side of the tier, right? I don't remember where I was going with that. Rich was talking about smoking, and so yeah, so I used to smoke, and what I'm talking about, hopefully. And I actually stopped when I did some research, and I found out it was a respiratory illness. I figured putting any kind of smoke into my lungs, if I end up getting this, that I don't want to hurt myself just to do something recreationally like that. But man, I'll tell you what, I think I might need to again here, regardless, and just run a little bit. But you were in basic training from February to May. Basic training for what, military? Rich, you've been a character, man. I hope that you comment on the old videos and stuff when they come out, because I will definitely remember Rich Kendall here. You Armball and Drip are in a special category for me now. Krilligi Blitz YouTube, what's up, man? You got a picture of a happy potato. All right, to each his own. Jackson, like I said, thank you. Appreciate that. How can Rich type so damn fast? He's got to be using voice text or something, man. I don't even know. But guys, it is 1:30 in the morning almost here. I actually did not have any dinner tonight because I wanted to soak up a nice little buzz here. Let's see, real quick. Super XAVVLS. I have the Seahawks beating the Vikings. I feel like we've seen this matchup far too many times. Seahawks always seem to win it, so that was who I went with. Can you guys see it there? Do I have it blocked? Tight. Yeah, man, I gotta figure this streaming stuff out. Vault Dweller, what's the sad face for? Not because I'm leaving. Don't be ridiculous. Mr. Sida asked the opinion on Clyde. Smooth, man. Smooth. Like, it's amazing how a big running back in college will translate to the NFL, and you're like, whoa, that guy's actually kind of tiny and quick. Like, he looked like a bigger, almost like a thumper, almost like a Doug Martin type in college, and I still think he is a Doug Martin type, but he looks way quicker than that. It's wild. Doug Martin's not even a great college example. I don't even know. He looked like every other LSU running back. He looked like closer to Fournette than he did Doug Martin. How about that? He looked closer to Fournette in college than a Doug Martin, yet he looks like Doug Martin that 1 or 2 years that Doug Martin was really, really good last night. Like, he just looked smooth and quick. So, really good pickup. MJD, Maurice Jones-Drew, that's a really good analogy for him. Yes, the reason I had the Falcons over the Niners was also because of a matchup with the from last year that happened, where the Falcons came in and beat the 49ers. It's personal for the Falcons, man. Whenever they see Kyle Shanahan, it's going to be personal for them. Oh, sorry, Vault Dweller. I will remember your name just for being a crybaby for not having your name remembered, if that makes you feel any better. Hey, I appreciate that. That's funny, man. Is David Johnson is he back, or is this a flash in the pan type of game? If David Johnson is on the field and not listed on the injury report, he's back. And he never left. I think that the problem with David Johnson has just always been the injuries, man. Like, but yeah. All right, man. I do enjoy this. This is a lot of fun. Appreciate everybody that came in here talking tonight. We had a good steady group of 30 or so this whole time. Like I said, I apologize for the summer being like pretty inconsistent as far as content goes for me. Inconsistent, non-existent, basically. This is somewhat, it's seasonal. It's seasonal stuff. But this was a different season, and the old COVID just wrecked us. Like, my wife's a teacher, so she's been an emotional mess all summer, like worried about school and stuff like that going back. But she keeps on, and now I'm watching the kids. I've got all 3 of those kids right now, all day long by myself, until she gets home at 4:30. It's been a mess, man. Like, getting the weekly pick'ems out is going to be taxing for me this year. Like, just to get that week 1 pick'em out, I wanted to get it out nice and early. I had literally stayed up for an entire night that night. And then, I'm 32 now, man. Like, it's those all-nighters, you don't recover from them like you used to. And it literally took me like 2 days to get back to like not wanting to like jump off a cliff because I was so tired. But yeah, I really appreciate you guys and what you do and watching these videos and stuff um, and showing up to stuff like this. It really means a lot. Oh, here, hold on. All right, first let's hit Natalie's up. She says, "What do you think about Cardinals versus Lions Week 3?" I feel like I remember that being a really good game at the beginning of last year. Wasn't that Week 1 last year? I think the Lions are going to be better than people think. And I'm not a huge Lions supporter, or I don't like Matt Patricia that much. But I think the Lions are going to be better. Austin says, "I swear to God, if you didn't put the Eagles in the playoffs, I'm going to be big mad." Well, 7-9. Sorry, bro. I guess you're going to be big mad. Here we go. RWC Niner 29. Remember 70% of the times you picked against the Niners last year, they won? Some people never learn. Teams don't get better by getting mad. I'm assuming that you're talking about the Falcons, that I have the Falcons beating the 49ers in the playoffs, in the wild card round, and I get that. I understand your frustrations with that. Either way, I was probably gonna make the homer pick and pick the Cowboys over the 49ers the next round. That was mostly just because my intentions were to mention the fact that they beat them last year in San Francisco in that exact same scenario. Kyle Shanahan stuff is always going to be personal for them. And I'm going to take Matt Ryan over Jimmy Garoppolo any day. But yes, I do remember last year where I got a lot of Niners games wrong because they were much better than Rich said you got good posture. Man, screw you, dude. I feel like you're being sarcastic here. Armball says, "For fantasy, are you a big guy like Mike Evans or smaller, fast people?" For fantasy, I don't care what size you are, what color you are, what team you play for. Unless it's an NFC East team, I don't pick anybody that I have to root for as a division rival. I just want guys that are going to get production, so... But thank you. Let's see. Where you boot? What does that mean, where you boot? You got your head back and chest. Rich, what are you talking about? Am I supposed to like this? I don't know, man. I was in band in middle school where we did talk about posture and the old straight back and stuff. So if I sit properly, it's literally just shades or remnants of that. But appreciate it, RWC Niner. Austin, appreciate you, man. Rich. Oh, boot camp. Appreciate that, Vault. ATL boys, peace out, man. I'm going to do the same, guys. I could sit here and shoot the shit with you guys all night. Like I said, I made chili today because it's football season. It is officially chili season. Still sitting on the crock pot. I'm about to go tear into that at 1:30 at night. 3 beers deep. 3 good, strong beers, though. Devil's Backbone, 16 point. This is a local Virginia beer. Good stuff. If you see it in your local grocery store, you should try it. Last question before I go. Armball, do you have any hobbies besides doing vids and watching the kids? This is embarrassing. I still play Pokemon Go. Oh, I know. I do play that, so that's one of my hobbies. because I'm with the kids and they don't do anything but like just roam around and play stupid kids games in the house and the toys and stuff and put things in their mouth. I also play Mario Kart on my phone, and that's pretty fun. I don't know if you guys have ever. I played it a long time ago, and then my buddy got me dusted the dust off my bike and stuff. Other than that, yeah, go for runs, listen to music. But yeah, appreciate the question. That's fine. I only quit that game 3 years ago. Armball, I like you, dude. You're a funny guy. All right, man. I'm gonna get out of here, guys. Good luck to your football teams this season. I promise I don't hate them. Can I just say that right now before we go even into the real week 1? I don't hate your team. I hated the Patriots, but the band split up. I don't even hate them anymore. I literally am just trying to give it to you guys just the way I see it. So yeah. Good luck to everybody. Obviously, I hope the Cowboys do better than your team, but yeah. Vault Dweller, I have not played. I almost bought a Nintendo Switch when this whole COVID thing went down. I wish I would have, because people have just been like spiking the prices up. But I haven't played Sword and Shield. I heard it didn't get that great of reviews, so I haven't like rushed to buy it. But one day I will play. I'm a sucker for some Pokemon, man. I'm the OG Pokemon's crew. I remember like stealing my little brother's Game Boy Color and like playing Pokemon Red and Green and Blue or whatever it was, like after my parents went to bed and shit. So always been a fan of Pokemon. Nothing's like the NFL though. So glad it's back. I don't care what race, religion, color. It's all good, man, when there's football on TV. So everybody, shout out to your team. Love you guys. Keep hitting that like button, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll see you guys in the next video.